unusual feeling or
Funny enough, there wasn't anything unusual I see of another day, but I was able to just have a kind of a reflection and say, wow, 60 years, 50 years, I've done that. Such a basically, I even thought of my father that day, but he died when he was 59. So I had that reflection that how come I crossed that he was not able to cross. So I think I was really good.
and what was of the idea of celebrating with was it planned or
Well, I think it's been planned. Funny enough, like I say, I always plan my life in 5 year segments. I think when I was 55, I've been thinking of it. What would in what form or shape would my birthday take? Do I want to have a lavish party, spend 200-300 million, entertain people, and it disappears? Or you want to do something that will be a legacy, that will be a kind of thing you can nurture even till you pass on, So I felt something more like a legacy should be the way to go with a bit of celebration. So, and in the course of that, I think the university approached me for some assistance, and I felt, well, this is the opportunity to do that. I was meant to do an investment for the law faculty. So I decided, no, it's not going to benefit from more. I'd rather do a project that will benefit the whole university and even people outside of the university. So that's why I came up with that entrepreneurship center. And I think it's going to be a major impact. We're going to fund it to the extent that it will be very fast. By next year, we'll be having the second series of the colloquium. The first series was very, very good. The speaker from the Rotterdam trickled a lot of minds up. And those policies have been given to the federal government and they are really looking at it. So the whole idea is to have practical business training and also to seed funds for entrepreneurs. So it's like attraction, like a dragnet. If you go there, if you're very good, you can get some seed funds to establish yourself. So those are the kind of things we want to do, and it's being run through the foundation.
and is it going to be like the business the department kind of or the center or something that runs without
I think it's not a business, it's going to be a charitable thing, non for profit, but it will be self-sustaining. And what we intend to do is that we place all the funds that is necessary to sustain the unit until it becomes self-sustaining. And we are planning by September the first set of graduates should be in. And so whatever it takes, because we are not there, we'll keep investing. Even as we speak now, they're still working at that site. They are installing the educational aids, making the environment more sustainable, planting flowers. So by September, the intention was to recruit the first set of students on scholarship, so which will be funded by the foundation. So the first 20 sets, 10 is coming from KICC, and we identified another 10 from Ogun State Health Technology. I was given a fellowship there, so at that point I announced that 10 students will be given this scholarship. So the foundation will take on their cost as a way of investing in that unit until we get more students who will turn up, and soon or later it will be self-sustaining. The intention is not to make any profit. The intention is to put back to the society, and that's a nice way we want to do that. But whatever it takes to make the center to stand on its foot, we're going to front that.
Looking back at your life at 60, do you feel fulfilled that all you've been able to do?
Very much so. Funny enough, yes. I'm an intentional person. I think as I now I've achieved everything I set myself. I set a goal for myself to have achieved. Although it would have been easier or better because of the environment in Nigeria. We cannot detach ourselves from the system. So Nigeria is a funny place. It has its own challenges, but I do not think there's any regret on my part. I think I've done as much as I will do. Although in some area of business, I've not met the targets which I set myself. But at the end of the day, there's no regret. And I think, fairly enough, I've done well.
Let me take you back to your growing up years. Where were you born and where did you grow up?
Where?
Where were you born and where did you grow up?
Yeah, I was born in Ijebu, in a 50-bedroom mansion, very big house, in a polygamous setup. and my father has 8 wives, 29 children, and that's the kind of upbringing I was. My father was a lawyer with 8 wives, and he has his own office also in the building. So it's a building that you have conference center, reception room, cashier's room. Although it's our home, all the doors are labeled with with offices. So in a way, there are a lot of thinkings and thoughts and learnings I got from that situation. Because every day you are exposed to office life, you are exposed to petty cash. If you want to collect money from your dad, you say go and write a petty cash, go and write a petition, they will sign it, you go there and collect the money. So you see how things are set up, and it really stuck on you. And it's one of those things that really helped me as an entrepreneur to set up in a proper format. So that's how I grew up.
And then schools attended.
Yes, school attended. I was in Baptist Day School for 1 year. No, sorry, Emmanuel Primary School for 1 year. Then I left for Baptist Day School, where I completed my primary education. From there, I went to Adeola College. Then from Adeola, I went to Ogun State Polytechnic. From Ogun State Polytechnic for my A levels, and I was meant to go to University of Calabar. Funny enough, because I went for direct level, but fate would have it. I have to go to Ogun State University because my mother cried on me, having just lost my father 2 years before. Was very reluctant. She was reluctant that I would travel to Calabar for law. So she kind of put pressure on me not to go for direct entry at University of Calabar. That I should go to Ogun State University, now Olabisi Onabanjo. So that's where we're the first set of lawyers. Instead of spending 3 years, I ended up spending 4 years because it was meant to be a direct entry, and they had no direct entry at Olabisi Onabanjo then. So that's it. Then from Ogun State University, I think after finishing, I left for England, and I went to the Nigerian Law School. Had a 1 year stint at the Nigerian Law School, then went to England, had a 3 year stint with the Ministry of Health as an administrative officer, but I wasn't satisfied. As a lawyer, I couldn't be an administrative officer. So I had to go back to College of Law to requalify as a lawyer. Then I requalified as a lawyer solicitor of England and Wales. And then I set up my firm in England, also Mountain Partnership Solicitors since 2001. We are one of the few BME firms that are still in the UK doing very well.
And how easy was it for you selling Otunba?
Well, coming back, it's always, I've never left really.
Okay.
That's one that is one thing about my life. I traveled to England again with my 5 year plan. I always have this 5 year plan. So as a child, as a young person, when I left, I said, oh, for 5 years, I'll just go make whatever I need to do and come back. So after 5 years, I achieved more than what I had planned. So I remained there because things were better then, but I never detached from Nigeria. So every time I make sure I come back at least 2 or 3 times in a year, even from the time I said I jackpot. So there's always the inclination to come back to Nigeria. So in a way, most people don't know that I stayed more in England because they still also see me around. But all my family members, except my wife, is in Nigeria. All my family members in the UK except my wife. So up to now, I still maintain very strong link with UK.
And let's talk about the Okenla family. The name is very big in Ijebu.
Yes.
What explains the fact that the family turned out to be very famous and popular family?
I think Okenla, we are actually we are Okenla Ashiru.
Okay.
Funny enough, we changed. My father changed our name from Ashiru to Okenla. The Okenla is not a name as such. Is how do you call it? It's an appellation. Oriki, what do they call it? Yeah, like a nickname. No, Okenla Ofirakpamo. No, it's from. So my father, when he turned Christian, changed our own line from Ashiru to Okenla because Ashiru is seen as a Muslim name. So if you're talking of the Okenla, you're talking of the Ashirus. We're quite very big family. The non-Ashiru, which I don't know whether I would say my uncle or whatever, has 38 wives. So if you can imagine somebody have 13 wives, 106 children, My father has 29. Then the other ones that has 12, 30. So it's quite a large family. So, but I think the prominence has to do with the success from everybody. And basically, we are mainly entrepreneurial family and very, very also very successful in whatever profession we find ourselves. So that's how it reflects. But my father has been very, very popular in Ijebu with his Paramount Cinema, Paramount Hotel. So a lot of people tend to know him with those establishments. So that's it. And they know his uncle, Baba Shiru, as the only receipt. So that's how the family. But anybody talking about Okenla will remember him more as a lawyer and more as the owner of Paramount Cinema and the Paramount Hotels in Ijebu, everywhere. When I was growing up, everybody thought I'd be an engineer. Funny enough, and I think the idea is that I play with a lot of I play with my hands a lot. So when the generator in the house got broken down, I'll fix it. So people think, oh, Femi is going to be an engineer, but there was a kind of an incident that occurred. I put in my book when my father wrongly accused me of theft. So I knew I wasn't the thief. So in a way that stuck on my brain. I said no, I will go and read law at least to be defending the innocent. So that's how I changed my mind. I must read law. It's a very emotional thing. Anytime I look back at it, I look at it and it's always bad to accuse somebody wrongly. So it really stuck on my head that I have the confidence of my dad, and then at the end of the day, we had this issue of mistrust coming up, which wasn't my fault, I wasn't the thief at all. I knew I didn't take anything, but he entrusted me with his room to be I was the keeper because he was said, oh, I trusted me that much that I'm the one that has owned the key to his room, and some money was stolen. And I just happened to come in there and I pointed out the empty bag. I said, oh, look at, is this what you're looking for? And he thought, yes, for you to know that's the bag, then you must have been the thief. And I knew I wasn't. So that really formed my opinion that I wanted to be a lawyer so that innocent people will not be convicted for what they've done.
Okay, let's talk about you and your wife. You're very close and you seem to have married early. How easy was it deciding at that time?
Yeah, I married when I was just probably 24. I think it was an intentional decision. I knew marriage would streamline you. It will make you to be focused, and I think it did really. Then when I was getting married, people were making fun of us that how come the 24-year-old boy be getting married? But mostly you'll be maybe 28, 30. So people find it strange that immediately I left university, finished my youth service. A year later, I was proposing that I was going to get married. So people were saying, what are you going to do? But it was an intentional decision because I felt if you're married, it's going to place some responsibility on you, and if you have that responsibility, you have to find a means to resolve those responsibilities. So in a way, marriage was used by me as a means for me to be focused, and it actually achieved that because as young men we may tend to be straying around, and I wasn't ready to be strayed around, so I just decided to.
What was our reaction when?
Well, the reaction has been, I have an amazing wife. She will always go with whatever I want to go with. And when I told her, she knew I had nothing then. I had nothing really, practically nothing. So practically nothing, but she just believed in me. And I said, we're going to get married. We're going to go to England for 5 years. And after 5 years, we're going to come back to Nigeria. She said, well, let's do that.
I know you're working on so many projects. What will be the next major project to do?
The one major project we have is this CB's Lekki, which we are opening by December. It's much bigger than the BC It's quite big. And after that, we have an estate in Otunba, which we are going to, but we want to cross this bridge of Ibis Lekki project. It's quite massive, double the size of this. And we intend to open that by December, all things being equal. And then we are going to, like I told you, and then we're going to do some other projects.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I want to